Hello and welcome to the lecture series on Total Quality Management. I am Dr. Vinod Kumar Yadav from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, GL Bajaj Institute, Greater Noida. Today we'll discuss how to set an orthogonal array to be used for any design of experimentation. So we'll recapitulate the facts that is based on robust design as proposed by Taguchi. Dr. Taguchi proposed to use a robust design, so that design has to be taken care of during the process of initial designing itself. So he do not believe on the fact that the design may be corrected at the inspection, and that robust design will reduce the variance if any in the data. Okay, so that will minimize the data spread. That is the main benefit of using a robust design. So so if we go for more robust design, then the quality will be far better as compared to the normal design is. So selection of an orthogonal array is an important aspect that has to be chosen suitably, because our as a mechanical engineering do not have a purpose to draw or to construct or to build a orthogonal array. So what we do, we have a set of orthogonal arrays proposed by Dr. Taguchi and other uh, uh, scientists. So we can choose suitably any of the orthogonal array for our particular purpose. So proper selection is important for us, like mechanical engineering people. If somebody wants to build an orthogonal array, he wants to design a program to write an orthogonal array. So that is being basically done by the CS, IT or mathematics people. Okay. So we'll revise here for that depends orthogonal array selection depends upon the number of factors for two level. Uh, for example, there are two levels like low level and high level, and if the number of factors that affects or control factors that affects the overall response varies between 2 to 3, then we choose L4 orthogonal array. If it is varies between 4 to 7, then we'll choose L8 orthogonal array. 8 to 11 we'll choose L12 and so on. And if we talk about three levels of orthogonal arrays, so if we are using three levels like low, medium and high, and number of factors varies from 2 to 4, then we'll go for L9 orthogonal array. And if it varies from 5 to 7, then we'll go for L27 orthogonal array. Okay, so here is an example of L8 orthogonal array in which L8 represents the number of test runs or experiments to be done, and this represents a 2 to the power 7 orthogonal array. It means two levels and 7 factors. So we can check from here. 1111 is the low level, 2222 is the high level here also. So we can observe from here that the low levels as well as high levels in particular column as well as in every column is balanced. So this column, this row of factors shows the factors which affect the response of the parameter that we want to discuss. Okay, and in every column we can see that there is a perfect balancing for low as well as high level, so that the experiment will not go towards a single side. So it will be a balanced response, right? So we'll see up an example for injection molding machine. These parameters are important. So they are, I have quoted them as levels, like level 1 is low level and this is high level. So we can see from here the temperature is 300 for low level 1, pressure is 200, time is 1 hour, adhesive percentage is 10%. And for upper level, the parameters are temperature is 500, pressure is 600, time is 5 hours, and adhesive is 20%. So somebody wants to do an injection molding experiment or process. So these are the two set parameters on which he wants to get the response. So as we can see for level 1, these are the lower values. So lower temperature, higher temperature, lower pressure, higher pressure, less time and more time, and less percentage of adhesive and more percentage of adhesive. So he want to check for these two conditions. So we can see here that the levels are 2. So the important quality characteristics to be analyzed is tensile strength. He want to check what is the final tensile strength of the component to be manufactured. So what is his expectation is to get a larger tensile strength, or that is basically a good or robust design. So in order to get the larger tensile strength, which approach will use? We'll use the we'll use the suitable approach that is known as larger the better. Okay, we have discussed in last lecture about the larger the better technique. So we want the value of tensile strength to be more larger so as to minimize the loss. Okay, so what he has given, four factors are there. So we can see here factor number one, that is temperature, pressure, time and adhesive percentage. These are four factors and many combinations are possible. In fact, the interaction about which we taught in last class, these interactions are also possible. So but he focused that the interaction between pressure and temperature is more important as compared to other interactions. Okay, this is only significant. So we'll take up the case study how to select an orthogonal array and how to proceed with. So I have set this table in another form. I mentioned this table as factors. So this temperature lower level factor L1 is A, so it becomes A1 and A2. I have used A1 and A2 for low level as well as high level. Okay, so for pressure I have used the parameter B, and so B1 will represent the lower pressure, B2 will represent the higher pressure, and time C, so C1 will represent the less time and C2 will be more time. Adhesive percentage is represented by D, so D1 will represent the less percentage of adhesive and D2 will represent the high percentage of adhesive. So there are many possible interactions. So factor A may interact with factor B, there may be some interdependence between A and B, B and C may also interact, C and D may also interact. So possible interactions may be like two factor interaction are AB, BC, CD and AD, and three factor interaction may also be there. So ABC, BCD and ABD, these may be some interactions, or four factor interaction is ABCD. So the target set by the uh, person is to optimize this design of experiments, how many number of experiments are required to conduct or to get some useful information. So we'll be using here the fractional orthogonal array. So this fractional orthogonal array will give us most of the information as expected. Okay, this will save our time as well as cost. So he focused that the given interaction between temperature and pressure, that is interaction between factor A and B, is only important. So we are not focusing on all the interactions, we'll be focused more on the interaction between factor A and factor B only. Okay, and as I told, the expectation is larger the better, that is tensile strength should be as large as possible. So we can use the expression for larger the better computation and can find out the response, okay, using these factors. So we have to select a suitable target, as our purpose is not to design a orthogonal array but to select a suitable orthogonal array. Okay, so we can use table 1 of this PPT. So L8 orthogonal is most suited for four factors with two levels, as we have discussed here. So this L8 orthogonal array is suitable for the factors between 4 to 7, okay, with two levels. So our case is matching with this particular condition. So we'll be using this L8 orthogonal array, and this is the orthogonal array. This can be, this is fixed. Somebody wants to draw it, that is fixed, okay, that is proposed by Dr. Taguchi. So we can refer from any textbook or any reference book or any standard table. We can check it, the L8 orthogonal array, that will be similar to this table. Okay, then we'll go for the setting up orthogonal array. We'll recall L8 orthogonal array, that was this, with 7 factors, with 2 levels and 8 treatment conditions. Okay, 8 treatment conditions. So when transposed to experimental procedure, this will represent 8 experiments and 7 factors, and response can be noted in this table. Okay, so I have shown here that if there is an interaction between factor 1 and factor 2, then we can write here the third column as per the rules of setting up the orthogonal array. Third column must represent the product of f1 and f2. So this will be the third column, that is the multiplication of f1 and f2. Okay, we'll write here. Then fourth column will be representing the third parameter, third factor, so we put it here. And so if there is an interaction between factor 1 situated in column 1 and factor 3 located in column 4, then their interaction will be represented here in this column number 5. Okay, and if there is an interaction between factor 2 and factor 3, okay, so we will write it here in column number 6, and in column number 7 we'll write the independent fourth factor, that is f4. So this f1, f2, f3 and f4 are basically these parameters, these factors: factor A, that is temperature; factor B, that is pressure; factor C, that is time; and factor D, that is adhesive percentage, right? So we can write here the response, because we have already seen that to find out the larger the better value, we have certain correlations and certain formula. We can use it here and write it the response here. Okay, we can use Excel sheet to plot this table and to compute the response using the suitable formulation. So now we will talk about the interaction. If there is an interaction between factor 1 and 2, we have two techniques to use or find the interaction. Okay, so firstly we'll discuss about the linear graph. So this linear graph will be constructed with points. Say this point represents column number 1, this point represents column number 2, this point represents column number 4, and this point represents column number 6. So what is there in between? So we thought that there is some interaction between this column number 1 is assigned with factor A, that is say temperature. Column number 2 is assigned with factor B, that is pressure. So if there is an interaction between factor A and factor B, so we'll draw a line segment between point 1 and point 2. So this line segment will be drawn. So this will be fitted in column number 3 and will represent the factor AB. So what we have done here, we can check here. So there is an interaction between, this is column number 1 representing factor A, column number 2 representing factor B. So this column must represent, if there is an interaction between 1 and 2, will represent the product of A and B. Okay, so it is F1, F2. That's what we want to show it. Okay. So this column number 3 must represent the product of factor A and factor B. Similarly, if there is an interaction between factor B and factor C, so we'll put it here. So there should be point number 6, that is interaction between factor BC, column number 5 interaction between factor AC, and column number 7 represents the D factor. There is no interaction. Okay, there is no interaction. So this is one of the techniques, graphical technique, through which we can find out the possible suitable interactions, and we can plot in our table like I have plotted here. Okay, so this is factor A, factor B, factor AB, factor C, then factor AC, then factor BC, and factor D. Okay, so another way is that we can find out the interaction using the interaction table, that is triangular interaction table. This is triangular table. Okay, here we can plot it here, the number of columns here and this way. Okay, so if there is an interaction between factor 1 and factor 1, that is, let it transpose into factors form. Okay, so this column A here I have put here as factor A. In column A I have fitted factor A. In column 2 I have fitted factor B. So in column 1 factor A is fixed, in column 2 factor B is fixed. So if we talk about the interaction between A and A, there is no interaction, so this is fixed for column 1. Okay, if we talk for column number B and this column number 2, column number 2 and column number 2, this column is fixed for factor B, so this column is fixed. Okay, but if we talk about this column number 1 consisting of A and column number 2 consisting of B, if there is any interaction, then it will be shown in the column number 3. This represents the column number 3. Okay, let it again understand. If we refer the column number 1 here, it is fitted with factor A. Okay, and if we talk about column number 2, okay, where B is situated, so in this slot there is an interaction between A and B. Okay, this is A, this is B. So this interaction AB has to be set in column number 3. Okay, this is representing the column number 3. So the interaction between factor A and factor B has to be set in column number 3. So this column number 3 consists of, this is the column number 3, this is column number 3. So it is fixed that in column number 3 factor AB must be set. So I have set it AB here. Okay. Similarly here in column number 3 AB is set. Okay. So in this way we can find out the interaction, where to set that interaction in the column table. Okay. So this is in fact complicated technique, but we can use it to find out the interaction and to locate the parameter suitably in the table. So this is known as triangular interaction table. That is an analytical technique of choosing that particular parameter. So similar way we can find out if there is an interaction between factor A and factor C that must be located in column number 5. So I have put it here, AC as column number 5. Okay. So this way we can find out any interaction and the column in which the interaction parameter is to be set, right? So this is the graphical as well as analytical technique of using triangular interaction table. So we can find out the interaction between the factors. Okay. So independent factor is A, B, C and D. These are 4 independent factors. In our case it is temperature, pressure, and C parameter is our the time. Okay, this C parameter is time and D is the adhesive percentage. So we can put it here: temperature, pressure, time, adhesive percentage. So these are 4 independent factors. In our case only interaction between AB is given, so it is important for us to find out the interaction between AB. So that is clear, I think, because we have seen that in row column the column numbers are mentioned and factors are assigned. In this column number 2 the factors are assigned again in the respective columns and we can find out their interaction. Okay. So now we'll talk about our particular case, how to set the factors in the table and how to find out the response. Okay. From here we can see that the factors were A, B, C and D, and their lower levels, that is L1 representing level 1 is A1 is 300, A2 is 500. Okay. Then B1 is B2 is given, C1 C2 is given, D1 D2 is given. So put it here the level according to levels. So I have marked here as the factors 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay. So what is our factor 1 is A, factor 2 is B, factor 3 is AB. AB is the interaction between A and B, and factor 4 is C, factor 5 is AC, that is interaction between A and C, interaction between B and C, and this is independent factor. So we have 4 parameters here. Okay, A, B, C and D, and 3 interactions AB, AC and BC. As it is given in the problem that we are not concerned with the AC and BC, so these may be treated as dummy. We don't want to use this because this will not change the response to a greater extent. That will be affecting very less extent. Okay, so we'll not concern with these 2 parameters AC and BC as per the given condition is not important for us. So we'll be repeating that table orthogonal array L8 that we have chosen for our case here. Okay, so we wrote it all the parameters as it is given in the orthogonal array table like here. So after writing it we marked it that AC and BC are dummy factors, so we are not concerned with this. So for experiment number 1 the A has to be maintained at 1 level, B 1 level, AB 1 level, C 1 level and D 1 level. Okay, so the main important factors contributing to the response, that is tensile strength, is basically A at 1 level, that is A1 lower level, B1 lower level, C1 lower level and D1 lower level. So we have put it here A1, B1, C1 and D1. Experiment conduction will set it on this particular condition and will get the response after considering the interaction between A and B if any. Okay. So similarly in experiment number 2 we want to conduct like this: A1, B1, okay, and C2, D2. So A1, B1, C2, D2 parameters are to be set and their response has to be noted down. Okay. Similarly experiment number 3 A1, B2, C1, D2. So we set the parameters as per this rule and we have found the response as 10. So we can check here the responses of individual combinations. Okay, all combinations are presented here. So in this case, the AC and BC are dummy, and if there is an interaction between AB, we can use in the formulation. Okay, and our formulation will require the larger the better value. So we'll be choosing that parameter to compute the tensile strength. Okay, after computing this tensile strength, it is not necessary that in every experimentation we'll get the same value. So this experimentation number 1 can be repeated for 3 times, 2 to 3 times, so that we can verify what is the variability in the data, and we can find out the mean. So we can find out the mean of every parameter and write it here. So experiment number 1 can be repeated for 2 to 3 times, and after 3 times we can find out the mean. Say in first time it is 11.0, in second time it comes out to be 10.99, in third time it comes out to be 11.1. So we'll make an average of these 3 parameters, and then this mu average value will be written here. So for all the cases we can find out the mean value and use accordingly. So the conclusion says selection of orthogonal array will be same for all branches, but the responses will be different because we are concerned with our particular case like pressure temperature. CSIT people will be dealing with some banking solutions, some automotive solutions, okay, and these maths people will be dealing with some responses, mathematical responses. Civil people will be dealing with some of their responses in terms of their structure strength or so on. So the orthogonal array will be same, but the responses will depend upon the formulation to be used. Okay, if they want to use this orthogonal array for 2 levels, this L8 will be similar. Okay, 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 like this, but their response depends upon their formulation. So this is very important that this orthogonal array proposed by Dr. Taguchi is very important for all the branches of engineering, and we basically mechanical engineers used to use that same orthogonal array for our case suitably. Okay, we don't want to construct it. If it's because it's a complicated task, we can do it, but we are concerned with only getting the response. Okay, then repeatability of experiments may result into slight variation in obtained results, as I have told here that we have to repeat it. Like in a single run it comes out to be 11, in second run it comes out to be 10.99, in third run it comes out to be 11.1. So we have to find out the mean of these 3 experiments. So experiments may be repeated to ensure that the results are correct, okay, and they are validated. So mean value has to be considered here in case of repeatability of experiments. So results can be analyzed by computing the signal to noise ratio. We have discussed about it in detail in last lecture. So signal must be strong signal and noise must be reduced. So if we talk about noise, so this is say wear between the components. So wear is there, wear will be there, it has to be considered, but the ratio must be high. Okay, so using this S by N ratio for larger the best approach for given problem, we can find out the optimum tensile strength. Okay, the maximum tensile strength. Okay, so this is the procedure to use the orthogonal array suitably for our purpose. Okay, so this is one of the important aspects of designing a component to a robust level, so that the quality of the product will be improved